Hey, everybody out there, welcome back to another episode of Seen and Spoken with the Good Life Bookstore. I am one of your favorite authors, Good Life Russ, and you can follow me by that name on all social medias.
Hey, I'm one of your other favorite authors. I'm Chloe Simone. You can find me on all social media platforms at the Chloe Simone Studio, but also everywhere that's the Good Life Bookstore. You can find everything about us, what we're doing, what we have done, who we're working with, and more about who we're talking to. So we have another special guest today. She is a business owner. She is an HR leader, and she definitely has a word for all of us. She already gave me my word before the cameras were rolling, you guys. So I'm gonna try to be as quiet as I can so I don't get caught up in this again. This is Miss Cassandra Watts. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Well, first and foremost, I am a mother to a wonderful son who gave me two beautiful grandchildren. I've been in the HR profession for over 25 years. I'm the Chief Human Resources Director for TURN, or better known as the Utility Reform Network. And I am the founder and CEO of Evolve Leadership and Development, LLC.
All right, we got a serious introduction for you. So let's jump right in. This is one of our favorite segments that we have. It's called What's the Book? We just do a quick 20 to 30-second spill. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect, who it's going to resonate with, and why, but don't give them too much.
Okay, all right. The Power of Becoming. This book delivers a powerful, faith centered guide for anyone, but specifically for women who are ready to stop shrinking, start showing up with confidence, clarity, and purpose. And so, this is not just a book, it is a reminder to rise, lead, and transform with confidence.
Perfect.
I love the sum up.
Oh
The cover definitely looks clean too.
yeah.
Thank
So
you.
you did good there.
Yeah.
So, where I like to begin typically is from the beginning. So, give us an idea, please, of what it was like for you growing up in the house. Was reading a culture? Did you have to go to the library to read? What was it like?
Well, I grew up in a household. There were five girls, so there was five girls, and my mom, my dad, and my grandmother. And my mom and dad was they were pretty strict on us about school and reading and making sure that we exercise our right as human beings to make sure we got a great education. So growing up, we were very creative. You know how kids
Mhm.
go out and play and they start make believe. We did a lot of that. Very creative, pretending.
Mhm.
And so my journey began. I guess I would say during my childhood and growing up with my sisters, my siblings, and my mom and dad, and just instilling in us that what we needed to do in order to be successful women.
Mhm. I love that.
So say that again. You said it was five girls.
It was five girls, and then my mom and my grandmother. So there was seven women in the home, and one male, one bathroom.
And
That's a
everybody
book
made
in
it out.
itself.
And,
Yeah.
my dad just let us go first. He was always last in the bathroom.
No, he saw the bigger picture. He knew what was the
Exactly.
right thing to do.
He was not touching that. It was like, no, you girls, you girls go ahead.
Oh my goodness. I love
So,
that.
so is writing a big part of your childhood as well, or how did the writing translate from the reading?
Absolutely. When I was going through elementary school, high school, I loved writing. I loved poetry. And I just love being creative, and just taking. At first, I thought I was wanted to be a write a book, a children's book, but then later on, as I went through life, I figured that that was not where my calling was. My calling was, you know, in having experiences with different leaders, bad leaders. Some were really great leaders, but mostly bad leaders. And it was like, what can I write about that I could show people and teach people how to, become better leaders? And that's where my Leading from Within, Leading with a Purpose book came from. And
Mm,
it was basically assessing yourself as a leader, looking at yourself only without looking at everybody else, and
mm,
looking at how you could lead people to lead people, teaching them how to lead others.
mm. Okay.
Okay, well, that sounds amazing. I want to jump back into, we were talking about your childhood a little bit
Hmm.
more, and how the power of becoming is really about helping people kind of find their voice and stand in that. But can you give us a little bit of details about, like,
Hmm.
who did you think you were before you found your voice
Well,
and then
when you're growing,
achieved it? Mhm.
yeah, when you're growing up, you really don't know what you want to become. You don't know what you want to do. You're like, 1 minute you want to be a doctor, 1 minute you want to be an attorney. And I'm listening to, my dad always wanted me to become an attorney because he knew I had the, at home I had the mouth for it. But what he didn't realize that when I got into public, I was very shy. I was very timid. I was very uncertain with my voice and who I was. And so he always wanted me, he thought that I would be a great attorney, but I didn't think so, because I didn't think that I had the courage to get up in front of people and to argue, with people. And so, but he was like, well, you do a great job at home. And so, but yeah, but growing up in elementary school and high school, I was very timid. I even took what was the name of the class where you get up and a speech class where you had to get up and prepare a speech and get in front of the classroom and do some speaking things. And I didn't do very well at all. So, that kind of broke my confidence. But along the way, growing up, I became more confident in myself. And it was me pushing myself into that uncomfortable moment. And so that's basically how I became like, now I have no problem meeting people, because then I was shy and, scared to meet people, introduce myself. But as I grew older and I grew out of that, then I had no problem, communicating and meeting people and walking in my confidence. So yeah.
Okay. So for all the shy girls out there, so
Hmm.
do you think it was because you legitimately became more confident? Did you find out that the world or the people weren't as scary as we thought that they were? What kind of, like, advice would you give someone that might be like, I could never speak in front of people, but they have something
Hmm.
to say?
Well, I think the first thing is what I learned, and I learned this in speech class, was to not focus on the people, focus on the message.
Mhm,
And when I focused on my message and not focused on who was looking at me, I became more confident. But it takes practice. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice. But focusing on what you have to say and how confidently you're going to say it, instead of focusing on who's sitting in the front row and who's looking at you. So what I would do is I would pick the middle part of the room and looked straight past everyone all the way to the very, very back. And then I was able to focus on my message versus and who was looking at me, who was paying attention to me, and also practicing on what you're going to say, in front of a mirror, and test it out on one of your best friends or something like that. But that's kind of what, how I started to gain my confidence, and making sure that you're open to the feedback. If you go to your friends, make sure that you're open to the feedback that they're going to give you. And recording yourself. If you don't want to do that in front of friends, just sit there and record yourself and then play it back. And that's what I did.
Okay, thank you for that.
I love hearing about the practice and the repetition in what you
Hmm.
say. Nothing you said was, I was expecting the world to give me this. Everything was, okay, I've realized I have some work to do and got to
Right.
work. I love that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, can you give our readers a little more insight
Hmm.
on your journey as far as writing and healing? Did the
Hmm.
healing come first? Did the writing come first? Or were they happening at the same time?
The healing came through my writing.
Okay.
Um, and so I've been divorced twice,
Hmm.
uh, and went through some very challenging times, depression and all of that. But, I had a good support system, which was my family. And, I did, at one point I lost one of my jobs that I loved working at. And so that kind of spiraled my confidence a little bit. And when I started writing and started creating, that uh, my healing came through that because I knew at some point I was going to help someone else. I
Hmm.
knew that at the end of my journey that we do not like being in the middle. We do not like the challenges. We like it either everything is really really good and we like it and and we're happy there, but when it comes to those challenges, those roadblocks, we get uncomfortable and we want to stop. We don't want to continue. So I
Hmm.
had to force myself to continue, and I did that through my writing and through my creativity, everything that I learned as a child, and the confidence that my father and my mom gave me to keep going. And they pushed us girls to keep going, to never give up. And because I'm a Sagittarius, I think I don't like to give up anyway. But 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 through my the healing came through my writing. And this last book was very instrumental in me deciding to have my own company and have and create my own space for myself that I can mentor others and show them the way through those challenging times.
Okay.
So, for anybody who has a book and
Hmm.
they're waiting for the right
Hmm.
time, how did
Hmm.
you know when was the right time to publish your book?
Um, I, you know, throughout my time of writing and thinking about writing, there were people that actually started coming to me and asking me for advice. And and me mentoring them in that process, and when I saw where they were and where they ended up at, then that created a space for me to help others and to give them that advice and to share my personal stories with them. So I think that even if they don't have that book, have my book or have a book to read, I think the most important thing is assessing yourself first, looking at where you are, where you were, where you are, and where you want to be. And you have to make up your mind, your own mind, of whether or not you want to push through that middle to get to the other side. It is a mind, it is strictly a mind thing. And your mind, if you look at it, dictates your entire body, your breathing, your heart rate. It dictates everything.
Hmm.
And so the way you think, because we can talk ourselves out of a lot of different things, and we can talk ourselves into things, but we have to make sure it's the right thing. So, but you have to make sure that you have a strong mind and a strong will to move past all of those challenges.
I would agree. So we were talking off air, something you said
Hmm.
resonated, and I think it's
Hmm.
definitely important that we discuss. We were talking about just in general, and I'm paraphrasing, being a black person in America and what
Hmm.
that looks like in the different atmospheres, that we
Hmm.
go into. So, do you feel being a black woman in America is the same as being a black woman who writes books? Is it the same for you in that arena? Is it different? And can you expand on your experience with this?
To me, I think it's the same. You experience the same prejudices. You experience the same setbacks. You experience the same, you know, biases. And so,
Hmm.
um, my experience, and I'll start with being a Black woman in America. I
Hmm.
remember there were rooms that I would walk into, and I was the only person of color in an all white male room.
Hmm.
So you can imagine walking into that room, what that would do to someone's confidence, okay? What that would do to someone's self esteem. So I'm going to tell everyone, I'll tell you how I was able to step over that. It was just like walking over like I didn't see it. First, you know, I just took a deep breath, and my goal was not to be there to satisfy anyone in that room. My goal was to satisfy myself and to get my message across in that room. So I focused on my message versus who was in the room, because sometimes, and they may not have been thinking anything about me, but it was just when you walk into that room, it's an automatic, especially when no one else looks like you, it's just an automatic. So you have to make sure that you're focused on the right thing. And I think I said something to you. Then I didn't have a theme song, but today I have a theme song that I have, and I listen to it, and it gives me whatever song that you want to have that gives you that courage, that gives you that motivation. But it's a powerful mind thing that you have to ignore all of the noise that's around you and pay attention to what your goals are entering into that room. The same thing with the book. I know there's going to be some people that won't like my book. One, I can tell you one, because they may say, oh, it's too religious. Oh, they may say, well, it's only specifically for these types of people, or this group of people. My book is for everyone. It's for everyone who needs to move past that middle part, who needs that confidence. So I'm going to experience all types of different biases and all different types of people, not liking my book or not liking me, no matter what, regardless of whether it's my color or who I am or where I come from. But it's my job. It's my job to focus on where I want to go in this process.
I love that you said that because that's something that I touch on all the time, especially coming from, a marginalized community when it comes to being authors. And a lot of times they try to box us colored people in with saying, like, oh, there's grammatical errors. Like, no, that's
Mhm.
slang. That's how I talk. So that's how I write. I knew
Right,
my people know what that word means. They
right, right.
understood what I said. And us being comfortable in those spaces, and a lot of black male authors and female authors that I know did what I did. I used to look at, the older books that was with the Maya Angelou's, and they
Hmm.
had slang. And I
Hmm.
said, oh, okay, so this how we talk. And they're scholars and people look up to them as writers. So it's
Absolutely.
good for all of us. Just be yourself. I love that you said that.
Yeah, just be yourself. Be your authentic self. Be your authentic best self.
And then also contribute to us creating spaces for ourselves. So we don't
Absolutely.
ever have to worry
Absolutely.
about where we belong. It was literally made with us in mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And platforms like this, we're able to do that. We don't have to, again, wait for permission from others. We're being recognized on our own platforms. So,
Yes.
and I commend you for having this platform for us authors.
Oh, thank you so much. Because we're worldwide now. I got to throw that back out there too.
Oh, let's see.
But so, question, and I love this because we talk about like change and growth
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
evolution
Hmm.
constantly, in all the ways that it's amazing, incredible, and all the ways that it's not so fun to go through. And one of the parts that we talk a lot when we're going through it with people
Hmm.
we're around
Hmm.
is a loss. That
Hmm.
change is grief because it equals a loss of something. When you were
Hmm.
going through the process of becoming and finding yourself and your voice, can you
Hmm.
touch a little bit about the things that you'll have to let go or learn to live without?
Well, first I look at, I equate becoming with transformation. And it's to
Mhm.
me, it's change and transformation is two different things.
Mhm.
Transformation takes time. Transformation is a slow process. We can change our clothes every day, but that doesn't change who we are inside.
Yes.
Transformation is changing everything about your mindset, how you walk into that room. It's everything. It's not just, what on the outside, it's transformation from the inside as well. And so I think that through the power of becoming, it made me realize that I have more to give than I give myself credit for. We all do. We all have more to give than to society or to our families than what we give ourselves credit for. And you have to look at it that how where transformation begins. And I equate this to the butterfly. So if you look at how a butterfly is created, a butterfly starts on the ground. It starts from a caterpillar. If you didn't know that that caterpillar was going to become a butterfly, something beautiful, you wouldn't know. So it doesn't start with wings. It starts grounded. Okay, so I'm gonna take you through my little analogy here. It starts grounded. And so it starts low to the surface, limited in movement, you know, depending on whatever is in front of it, okay, to get it, moving throughout the ground. Nothing about its current state reflects what it's about to become. And yet everything it needs is already inside of it. And I'll take you back. That's us. Okay, it's already inside of us. There comes a point where the caterpillar enters a stage just like that looks like stillness, like it's not going anywhere, it's not moving, it's not changing, but it's still becoming. And inside that cocoon, transformation is happening, even though we can't see it. Okay. So I equate that to the seen and the unseen. We know that there's air and oxygen in the air that we breathe. We can't see it, but it's unseen, but we know that it's there. Okay. And we depend upon it. So if you didn't understand the process, you might think that nothing's happening between that caterpillar becoming a butterfly. You might think that it's stuck. But the truth is, it is becoming something it has never been before. And that is where most people misinterpret their own growth because transformation does not always look like progress. Sometimes it's a pause, sometimes it's confusion, sometimes it's stress, sometimes it looks like nothing at all. But that does not mean that you are not becoming, or that doesn't mean that nothing's happening. It just means something is forming. So we all have, so it's patience, and I had to pray for patience, and I had to, just because things doesn't happen right there and then, or things that I can't see it didn't mean that nothing was happening for me. I wasn't transforming and becoming who I was meant to become.
And
Yes.
she got me. A couple of things, and now I'm like, all right.
The butterfly stuck out to me. It reminds me of a meme I always see. It used to be a comic strip, but it's a caterpillar and a butterfly having lunch. And the caterpillar is like, "You change," and the butterfly is like, "We're supposed to." you know,
Yeah.
I love
Right,
that.
right,
So
right,
my
right.
final question, then I'll let Chloe bring us into the wrap up. For the people at home wondering,
Hmm.
so in this stage of your life, because what I believe about your analogy is, those are changing seasons. And
Hmm.
sometimes
Hmm.
we have to ground ourselves. Sometimes we got to go back into the cocoon. So for you, what season do you find yourself in? Are you the caterpillar? Are you in the cocoon? Or are you the butterfly right now?
I would say I'm almost a butterfly. I'm
Okay.
coming out of that cocoon,
Hmm.
and you can kind of see my little wings trying to come out a little bit. I'm not fully there as a butterfly,
Mm-hmm.
but I will be.
Mm-hmm.
I will be, and I'm so confident that I will be that butterfly floating around, beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can say I did it. I made it through all of those challenging times. I went through those challenging times, and I went through all of that hard work. It was not for nothing. It
Mm-hmm.
was to make me stronger. It was to give me courage. It was to give me more confidence in myself.
I love that.
It's funny because that sounds like exactly how we're seeing her right now already.
Right.
So she was like, "Oh, you see a little corner in my wing?" I'm like, "All right, girl, with the corner." No, all right. I'm messing with you because we're having a good time. But my final question,
Hmm.
I would say, if you could send a message to your future self 20
Hmm.
years from now,
Hmm.
what would you want her to hear? What would you want to say to her?
Mm, I guess I would want to say, girl. I would say, girlfriend, we went through a lot to get to this point. Uh, you didn't start early like most people would. Most people, you get out of high school, you go to college. That wasn't me. And I can tell this to the audience so that if anyone else is in this situation, started later in life to go back to school to get my degrees. I am, and I'm proud to say, I'm 62 years old. However, I just started my business. Okay. And I would tell my future self, it's never, too late. We thought, or you knew that it was never too late for you. And because you did not give up, your company now is a multi-million dollar company, and I'm proud of you because that's my goal, is to have my company in the next 3.5, 4 years to be a multi-million dollar company. And then I'm helping, if I can get through to just one person, that's success for me. I'm not putting a number. Oh, I have to have at least 10 clients. I have to have at least, have helped 6 people. But evolve leadership and development is not just for companies and organizations. It's for my community as well. It's for our youth. Our youth needs to know about what an effective leader is, and how to have confidence, and how to push through those challenging times when people are telling you can't do this and you can't do that. So so girl, I'm proud of you. You did it. You created a community where people can trust you. You've created an avenue for those individuals who otherwise didn't have a resource. Now you've created a resource for them.
Yeah, that was powerful. I've been enjoying this entire episode. I'm so glad that you were able to join us and come all the way from California to be with us today. And I'm glad we got to know more about you. You matter. Like, this is us giving you your flowers. We need your story. We need people like you in the world to encourage more people like you. We need more of you.
Yes.
So you've
Absolutely.
you've done your work. Everybody else
Right.
gotta get to work now. She on lunch.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I love it. So can you tell the people at home where they can find you on
Hmm.
social if you want to be found,
Hmm.
and where they can
Yes.
get your book?
Yes. I am on Facebook at Develop a Leader. It's Evolve Develop a Leader on uh, Facebook. I am on LinkedIn, Cassandra Watts Houston, or Evolve Leadership and Development. Or you can contact me at my email address, info@developaleader.com. I also have a website, developaleader.com. And you can get both of the books on Amazon and Ingram Sparks.
Nice.
All right, accomplishments and locations.
Hey, y'all know what to do. Y'all got them instructions.
Yeah. I definitely feel like your older self would look back and say thank you for holding all the things that it took to become her.
Mhm,
Absolutely.
mhm.
Absolutely. And it can be challenging, but you have to realize that, just because, like I said, just because things are standing still doesn't mean God is not working for you. It doesn't
Mhm.
mean that, things are not coming for you at the end. You have to keep pushing, keep believing, keep having faith in God, keep having faith in yourself.
Hmm.
Yes. I mean, and that's a beautiful wrap up. You've held space. We're full. So y'all know where to follow everybody. We are the Good Life Bookstore. You can find us goodlifebookstore.com, Good Bookstore on YouTube, Good Life Bookstore on all other social media. We appreciate y'all showing up, showing out the way y'all do. Make
Yes.
sure you're reading, make sure you're talking, and make sure you're loving on yourself. If you ain't got that
Mhm.
theme yet, that's the theme.
Right, right. And if you need a theme song, go to YouTube, look up Move Like I Belong by
Mhm.
Cassandra Houston. I promise you, when you hear that song, it's going to motivate you to get out of your chair and do something. Do something.
Mhm.
I
So, do
love
you have a quote, some words of wisdom, something you want to leave the people off on? Because this has been an excellent, excellent time.
it.
I think that I do. So I would say you may be a caterpillar now,
Hmm.
but always know that a caterpillar becomes what it becomes at the end. It becomes a butterfly.
Hmm.
So just because you don't see yourself moving or things aren't working out for you does not mean that you can't become a butterfly at the end. So that's
Hmm.
what I'll leave everyone with is when you walk into those rooms, you don't have to walk into the rooms arrogantly, but walk in there confidently with your head held high and focus on the message, not what's in the room.
Yes.
Full circle
Perfect.
right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. You know where to find us. We have a few more episodes this week, so make sure you're following so you can get those updates. It's been great. We love y'all. Peace.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.